Do you struggle with keeping your school paperwork organized for the whole year? Well, you're in luck because today we're going to talk about how to keep your school paperwork organized here on Get Organized with Jodi. Hi, I'm Jodi Granock. I'm a certified professional organizer with over 15 years in the field, and I have worked with lots of students in middle school and high school that struggle with how to keep their school paperwork organized for the entire year. Now, if you're like me, it might be kind of fun at the beginning of the year to create all your new folders or your accordion file or your binder system. But somehow, some way, as the first semester drags on, these systems can break. They can rip, they can get overstuffed. And so students are left to feel overwhelmed about how they're going to stay on top of all the notes and all the assignments and all the handouts. So the question is, how do I keep my system from getting overstuffed, breaking, or tearing apart? And the answer is the two-topic rule. Haven't heard about it before? Well, now you will. Here's how it works. We're going to use social studies, world cultures, history, whatever you want to call that topic, as our example for today. So let's imagine it's the beginning of the year and we're using whatever system we're using to keep track of everything. And our teacher says, all right, for the first unit, we're going to talk about China. So you're taking notes, you might have some handouts, maybe you write a paper, you might have a quiz or a test. Eventually, you will finish learning about China, and your teacher will say, now we're moving on to India, which means that India is the new topic and China is the most recent topic. So there's your two. You've got notes and papers and things for two different topics, India and China, that you're carrying around in your system. The reason you carry two topics at one time is because there's usually a lag, right? The teacher is still grading things. You might be working on a rewrite of a paper. Maybe you're trying to get some extra points by fixing something from the previous topic. So it's a good idea to have the most recent and the current. There's your two topics. All right, so we've learned about China, we've learned about India in this scenario, and now we're moving on further into the semester. And the teacher says, all right, it is time for us to start our third unit for the year. We're going to talk about Russia. Well, Russia becomes the current topic, and India now is the most recent topic. So the question is, what happens to China? As in, what are we going to do with all the paperwork that we had about China? So there's a concept of organizing that says you should store things where you use it, but based on frequency of use. So the less you use something, the further away it could be. And that is what has happened to China. We can leave these notes at home. I'm not saying to get rid of them yet, but we need to have some kind of system to keep our papers organized at home. So I recommend using a portable file box like the one in this picture. You could also use a banker's box, the thing that reams of paper come in. Or if you have a desk drawer with hanging files that can fit in it, or your parents or you may have a filing cabinet. You just need to hang a few hanging files, one for each of your core subjects. And this is where you're going to store the notes that are older than either the current topic or the most recent topic. And you're going to keep them there either for the whole semester or for the entire school year. Why do we need to do that? Because you may need these older notes if you are disputing a grade. Perhaps the teacher recorded something incorrectly. You can go back and show them. Or more often, you may have a semester or even an end of the year final exam, and you may need some of these notes again to study with. But by having them at home, these papers will not continue to accumulate into your system that you're using currently. So no matter whether you use the folders the accordion file, or binder system, you're going to be weeding out notes periodically and handouts and tests and everything so that you will not overstuff any of your systems. I hope that gives you some great ideas on how to be able to use whatever system you like the best for the whole year. I encourage you to visit organizingmagic.com for more organizing resources, including our free e-newsletter and information about our monthly Zoom webinars, which are also free. You can also check out this playlist where I have other videos related to keeping things organized when it comes to school. And remember that new videos drop every Friday, so be in the know and click like and subscribe before you go so you never miss a single video. I'll see you next time.